What's up, guys? Fall is in the air, kind of. Still really warm out, but it's deer season. We're about 2 weeks into bow season. I've only sat one time. Really have no desire to shoot a deer in 80-degree weather personally, but it's starting to get to be that point. End of September, October is here, and I'm kind of getting organized a little bit and figured I'd make a video showing you guys some of the gear that I like to take with me in the deer woods for bow season. So I actually just got sent this hunting backpack from KalKal. They asked me to do a little review video on it. So essentially, as I'm packing this all up into my backpack, I figured I'd share with you guys some of what I'm bringing in the woods during deer season. And honestly, tell me if I'm forgetting things, all right? Sometimes my brain goes from fishing season to duck hunting and bow hunting, and I'm a little scattered at times. So if you see something that you as a deer hunter always have with you in the woods that I should be adding to my pack, I want to know what that is, all right? Put things in the comments, help fellow hunters in this video about things. Like, I just thought of something that I don't have here, which is toilet paper, all right? And if anyone's ever walked out of the woods missing a sock, you better put toilet paper in your hunting bag, all right? So as I'm going through this stuff, that's what I want you to do in the comments. If I'm forgetting anything or helpful hints for other hunters, make sure you add it, okay? Let's start, because as I'm going through this, I'm putting it right in the backpack. KalKal hunting backpack. All right, first and foremost, I'm putting a water bladder in my pack. Personally, I would rather carry this around, a bunch of water supply. It's less bulky by fitting in a pack, and there's a nice little spout that comes out right here to clip right here for me. When I'm walking around, one, I like that I have the access to this for a quick drink of water. First time wearing this backpack here. Wow, it's comfy actually. Quickly can get a drink of water. I really like that aspect of it, opposed to dealing with unscrewing a water bottle. Once I'm actually set up in the tree, then I've got the backpack hanging from a branch or whatever right up against the tree, and then this is way easier for me to quick grab a little bit of a drink. Way less movement is the main thing. I'd be lying if I told you that I was never in the middle of opening a water bottle or a candy bar wrapper or whatever it is, and that's when I catch movement of a deer. And unfortunately, that's usually when the deer catches movement of me, and I'm sitting there holding a bottle of water. This is just, and then I'm trying to set that down. There's a risk of stuff falling. So I love using a water bladder, and I put that in my hunting pack, and it pretty much stays there all season. Next thing I want to throw in here, because it is early season, is the old 𝗖𝐴𝐴, all right? Mosquitoes, they suck, literally. And this thing will keep them away. Now, the butane 𝗖𝐴𝐴, I don't know if you can hear that from the GoPro. It has a little bit of a noise to it, a slight hissing noise. I don't know if the deer is gonna actually pick up on something like that, but nonetheless, there's also like a slight smell of like the burning butane. So I got a new product this year. This is a electric 𝗖𝐴𝐴, rechargeable battery. Nice little hook to hang from the tree. It's a little more compact. Makes no noise at all. You can adjust the heating setting between 3 different modes. And on top of it being a 𝗖𝐴𝐴, it also has a lantern feature. So if I ever need a light, double click that, and it's a lantern or a flashlight, or I think you can do just lantern mode too. So kind of doubles if I do harvest a deer. I also have a nice light with me that I'm hanging in a tree to help gut that thing. A lot of this stuff, I will have links in the description. Some of it is at a discounted price, so feel free to check out any of that stuff out. This thing has been kind of nice. I do think the pads, full disclaimer, the pads that they sent me with these, they just don't seem to have near the potency as the actual 𝗖𝐴𝐴𝐴 brand. So if you get this, and what I think I'm gonna do is use this for the heating element, but actually buy the 𝗖𝐴𝐴𝐴 brand pads to kind of get the best of both worlds. I mentioned that this is rechargeable. Another thing I should point out, I got one of these bad boys. This is a solar panel battery bank. All the cords that I would need, whether that be USB, iPhone, everything like this, plug into there. It also has wireless charging. So I can literally set my phone on here. If I have this in a tree, I could set my phone right there. So it's quick, easy to get to, and it'll be charging right on that. Like I said, it's solar paneled. So if I'm doing an all day sit later in the year during the rut, it's kind of nice to have this, especially if I'm running a GoPro or something like that. It even has a crank feature to recharge. I wouldn't say I love the fact that it's orange for bow hunting, but let's be real, the deer don't actually notice something like that. A couple leaves up in the tree with that orange color. I've got my extinguisher grunt tube. I can adjust fawn to buck. I actually killed my biggest bow buck ever by seeing him about 100 yards away and hit this deep throaty grunt. And he stopped and turned and walked right to me. It was, I think, 2023. Yeah, I keep that one inside. It wasn't one of these. So early season, probably won't use this much. But still, I always like to have it in the bag. A lighter. Sounds silly, but you never know if you get in a survival situation. This past summer, I actually kind of got stranded in the woods. I was fishing and I needed to cook some fish for food because I was completely out of food, exhausted. I got my bike broke down out there in the wilderness actually, and I did not have a lighter with me. And let me tell you, it humbled me because I was trying to start a fire with sticks, rubbing them together. It failed horribly. All right, so keep a lighter in the bag. Rangefinder by Vortex. Always keep this strapped on me. This is the Diamondback HD 2000. I have made the mistake of shooting at deer before, as I'm sure any hunter has, without knowing a completely accurate range, and it's not a good feeling. All right, as soon as I get out to the tree, I'm ranging where I anticipate deer coming from, so I have landmarks that I can kind of reference and be able to take a look at those. If you're at all looking for more of a bargain or a discounted type rangefinder, here's an off-brand of one called 𝗖𝐴𝐴𝐴𝐴. Disclaimer, this was sent to me, but for the price, it's actually very high quality. I had no issues with this. The reticle is not illuminated, so in low light conditions, it makes it a little bit tougher to see, whereas the Vortex one has that illuminated reticle, which can kind of pick things out in lower light conditions. But all things considered, this has been very accurate. I've gone side by side with both of them, and they read about very accurate ranges. I'll put the link to this one in the description too. Safety harness. Wear it. When I was younger, I never used to wear one. Thinking back about some of the trees that I crawled in and the stands I set up, and sitting there on an all-day rut sit, dozing off, getting tired from lack of sleep. Like, life is, now that I'm older, relatively older, life is too incredible to risk losing it by falling out of a tree stand. all right? If you don't already own a safety harness, get yourself a safety harness and wear it. Not only is it possibly gonna save your life, but you're going to find out your shots are more accurate. Like, I'll use my safety harness to my advantage knowing that I am strapped in. Sometimes I can almost lean and use that pressure and feel that and be much more steady in my shot. I do take some scent killer, and I'm torn on this. Nose jammer lotion. I don't know how much of it's marketing and how much of it's legit. I mean, yeah, try to control your scent, but at the end of the day, I think a deer, a mature buck especially, if you're upwind of this mature buck and your wind's blowing to him, he's gonna smell you. I really don't, personally, I don't think it matters how much effort you take and if you use scent-free soap and blah, blah, blah. Ozonics, maybe. I'm not buying into Ozonics, nor am I gonna have this machine, Ozonics machine, running up in the tree with me. So for that reason, I take milkweed with me, all right, and I just use that to check my wind a lot. Some of this stuff can help, but I'm not gonna sit here and say that you need to use scent. You need to use scent killer, dead downwind, eliminates all human and food odors. Like, I don't know how much that's legit. Like I said, can't hurt to use it. I spray it on the bottom of my boots at least when I walk in. Spray down some things, and this nose jammer, they say that this essentially just overpowers the deer's olfactory system to where it smells these strong, like vanilla and everything, where it just is overpowered and it can't pick up even that there's a human there. That's what they say. I don't know. Haven't used it enough to really say it's a game changer. Please share your thoughts as far as scent control goes, or certain products. If you have experience where you're like, Ozonics is incredible, I had a deer directly downwind, tell me that in the comments, right? I'm not trying to say that Ozonics doesn't work. I'm just saying I haven't tried it. So, like I said, I just like to use this milkweed. So when I'm up in the tree, I'm letting these things go to just know exactly where my scent is flowing to. Turkey call. Might think that's kind of odd, but I watched some guys on the hunting public, and they'll kind of use these sometimes walking in the fall to just sound like a turkey. If I'm going through like some oak hardwoods where there's a lot of leaves and I know I'm making noise, a deer doesn't know what I am yet. If I'm walking around and scratching some leaves, and I'm just doing that on occasion, just a deer might hear that and be like, oh, that's a turkey, you know, nothing to worry about. Might not spook out of there. So, plus, if I'm sitting in the tree and I see myself a turkey, I got a fall turkey tag. If I can talk dirty to a turkey and make them come within bow range, that'd be kind of fun. It is starting to get a little bit dark outside, but I wanted to show you guys a feature of this backpack. So it hangs up on the tree, whether you find a branch or something like that. I'm just out in my yard right now. But check out this workstation that it has. So essentially this buckle opens up, but then right here, you can adjust this where this is gonna sit right here. Turn a light on for you. One other thing with this backpack, it actually comes with like a waist strap for more support to take that load off of your shoulders, but it's optional if you want to put it in here. So like right now it didn't come pre-assembled, but if I wanted to slide this through there and get that set up, there's a Velcro strip in there, and I can set that part up, and I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do a lot of like really deep woods, getting back far into public, doing some saddle hunting, so I'm gonna be carrying in sticks and everything like that. So that's going to be helpful for me to be able to have this slid in here and take a lot of that weight off my shoulders. I'll show you what I mean here. All right, so there's the difference now. I simply added that in there. And it's super padded. And that's gonna take a lot of that weight off of my shoulders. Multiple straps on this thing to adjust where that weight is sitting. So I can cinch these down then too. Honestly, I'm very impressed with the quality of this pack. I'm excited about this. Gotta hydrate. Hey, so check this out. Remember when I when I showed you guys what was the when I opened this backpack and I thought it looked like a cup holder? Yeah, it's not a cup holder. It's actually a quick release rifle holder. Actually, you have the quick release option or the traditional option. So this is pretty neat actually. If I'm ever going like deep woods or hiking in the dark where I'm not going to need to be carrying my rifle, it's right here for me. And here's where it's pretty convenient. So if I'm walking and I see an animal and I need to get this undone, right here there's a buckle. So like this is in there safe. This sling feature gets clipped right here. All right, so I'm walking and I'm like, oh, there's a deer, I need my rifle. Simply what I'm doing is I'm unclipping this right here with my left hand. That was not smooth at all, but there we go. I need to have that on this side. That's what I need to do. Okay, so now it's on my right side. This should be more natural. So the quick release here, reach over, unclip. Could definitely be smoother, but the convenience of having that rifle pouch, I don't think I ever want to put myself into where I need a quick draw like that, right? But especially going in at night or something, it'd be cool to have this right here. So for gun hunting, excited about that aspect of it. This backpack also can hold a bow by strapping it to the back if I wanted to do that. Here's where it talks about that quick release gunsling. Lot of other straps on this thing. Once I'm doing more saddle hunting throughout the year, I'll be wearing this backpack for a lot of my hunts. So definitely stay tuned to the channel to see this more in action. Very impressed with this. I haven't even gone through all these pouches, right? I mean, just little pouches like this to quickly access things like I should put my turkey call right in here, or down in these hip pockets for my phone and stuff like that. Right here, if I ever get into trouble, I hope I never do, but for those of you in the hunting community, you just saw the recent news of those 2 elk hunters out west. So survival's a real thing. Like, you got to be prepared. I talked about bringing the lighter, having a whistle right here and a compass built in to this backpack. Pretty good things to think about, right? We got to have fun in the outdoors, but also stay safe to ensure we live as long as possible and enjoy it as long as we can. So KalKal backpack, I'll put this link in the description too. Feel free to check it out. I'll put some of the other various gear that I talked about down in the product description also. If you saw something like that battery thermocell or solar panel charger that you think is worth checking out. And like I said, please let me know if I forgot anything major. Hunting season's getting underway here, so help myself out and other fellow hunters know of items that you find to be tree stand essentials come deer season. Thanks for watching and good luck this season. Guys, I was just looking at the bottom of this, I'm like, oh, what's this zipper do? Didn't even realize. Nice blaze orange waterproof rain cover to protect everything in your backpack from getting wet. Also, going back to the safety aspect, right? If you are in a survival situation, you throw this over, put it in a visible spot. If there's ever like an aerial search party, all of a sudden now you're showing up a little bit better. So, one more thing that I didn't even realize, pretty nice feature right there. It's connected to it, but you can also disconnect the thing, but it tucks right in there. Good for me to remember on those all-day sits or something, gun season, if it starts drizzling, I can cover it up. Hey guys, last thing to point out, forgot to showcase this, but these quick release buckles can go right here to give like a topper for this backpack. Right here, these quick release buckles, quiet, but this will give more space on top, especially once late season comes. You know, I'll put all like my bibs and warm clothes under here because I can really expand this up to pack a lot more in there. This is advertised as a whitetail but also elk hunting backpack, so that top part, that's going to be stuff that's really for those more out west hunts, where you're carrying in a lot of gear, maybe a tent, sleeping bag and stuff like that. Same thing with those bottom straps, if you have to put a sleeping roll or something under there. Lots of options for this thing.